Hey everybody, it has been quite a long time, about since the end of the era that was the destiny of pro wrestling, and sad to say that video may never get produced because several reasons. One is definitely not just because of the Punk incident and the subsequent firing and the evisceration of Tony Khan's reputation with Chicago, amongst other stuff, which says a lot about the situation. But there have been other developments that happened, specifically the passing of Bray Wyatt, which depressed the living fuck out of me. And then I just couldn't bring myself to talk about anything for a while. And yeah, everything kind of spiraled downwards when that all went down. I haven't uploaded a video on the NRE WrestleVerse channel in about 54 days. So, yeah, that's the longest amount of time. The last video I had was about Konosuke Takeshita and Kenny Omega's fight that ended with Konosuke getting a clean victory. But, yeah, I still been on this, and ever since then I just kind of had no interest. Like, I still talked about wrestling, I just haven't been watching wrestling. Like, I've seen clips and highlights, but still. At least I'm more aware of things than Kevin Nash is when it comes to LA Knight, at least. Seriously, what the hell, man? So, yeah, it has been a long while, and I'm not going to say this as a comeback story. Like, I've been dealing with other stuff going on in my personal life. I was depressed, I had an anxiety relapse. Let's see, my medicine had to be delayed because we didn't get because the pharmacy didn't make my medicine time, didn't produce my bottles I needed for my medicine, so I kind of had a relapse moment for a week. I've been having issues with work, I'm not going to go into that, and well, really the world just sucks entirely, so fuck it. So yeah, and not help that the IWC likes to continuously tear down everything and anyone that involves having a different opinion than the thing they like. Because if you say you watch AEW, then you are betraying the WWE system. Somehow. Not really, but still. So, yeah, I have been in this perpetual loop of sorts with this whole thing. Anyways, back to the matter at hand. So, with that in mind, I had pretty much taken my extended break from wrestling and from content creating. I finally got ahead and did the 75th episode of my podcast on Neo Reality Collective. And, well, I've been having episode 76 waiting to be produced, but then I just lost interest in producing episodes for a while. And I still have the list. I keep trying to will myself to do the content, but I just seemingly can't bring myself. Like, I still do ATW View with Noah and the others, and that's fun. Like, it's probably because I'm not making the content, I'm just participating in the content. So, yeah. But this, and I have not watched a full episode of TV wrestling since the Collision Before All In, and that's saying a lot. And I definitely have not watched and the last full pay-per-view show I watched was Wrestle Dream, which was awesome, but I just couldn't bring myself to watch wrestling regularly as much as I wanted to. Like, I came in and plus work is prioritizing everything, so yeah. But now, we got this match. MJF versus Kenny by God Omega. Now, people were understandably so. Like, here's the thing. I'm not insane in the membrane. I get the argument that, yes, that this should have been a goddamn pay-per-view match, which I totally get. It's like, this is the devil versus the angel, so to speak. And this has been a match people have been wanting for a long time. But here's the thing. If you told me WWE did this, I would say, what's the story? Because they would just throw it out there. Like the hundreds of Judgment Day tag team matches they've been throwing with the same goddamn people. I feel sorry for Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn having to deal with that for the majority of their tag team reign they had. Goddamn. And Cody Rhodes was stuck in Judgment Day limbo. So, yeah, that would be my beef. But here's the thing. And here's the thing. You want to know what the story here, and they keep saying there's no story, except that there is a story here. It's actually kind of a simple story. It's actually a story I pitched for WWE about Walter's UK title reign when he was closing in on Pete Dunne's title record of the modern era at that time. And I said Pete Dunne should definitely feud with Walter before he breaks the record, so Pete Dunne can be like this gatekeeper of sorts to maintain his legacy as the NXT UK's longest reigning champion and the then current and then at the time longest reigning champion of the modern era. And this is the logic they went with MJF and Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega was MJF instigated on BTE. Yeah, you can now make the argument about that, about how the fact that you have to watch other shows to understand what the hell's going on. But at least they showed it on Dynamite, so props to that, for what I've heard. But MJF basically instigated this feud by counting down the days that he would break Kenny Omega's record. And Kenny Omega, realizing what his legacy is at stake, now realizes I gotta defend my legacy. God damn it! I need to defend my legacy, or else I'll die trying. Probably I'll die trying, but at least I'm not gonna go die and trying like Ric Flair, who's in AEW. Because shut up. Yeah, I'm still pissed about that. So, anyways, MJF took on Kenny Omega as the main event of AEW Collision. And here's the thing, when it was announced this match was happening, apparently within an hour or so into this announcement of the match on Dynamite, they managed to sell over 100 or so tickets to help finish building up the arena, which tells you that people were really into that. But the story that Kenny Omega wants to protect his record and legacy he's made is the understandable context. Like, if Kenny Omega had the title longer and it made it to Full Gear, then I would have definitely seen that, yeah, you could have had the match at Full Gear on pay-per-view, but MJF's also feuding with Jay White. Yeah, MJF has been now starting to feel what the Elite was feeling during the summer, where every single wrestler faction was pissed at them. Like, the Elite pissed off Dark Order, they pissed off the Blackpool Combat Club, they pissed off FTR, they pissed off CM Punk, even though that match will never happen, because fuck it. Because Punk lost his marbles, Jack Perry was being stupid, and here's the thing, I'm not going to talk about that. I've covered it extensively on ATW View. You can check that out on Noah Foster's channel. But let me just try to get simplicity out of it. I knew Jack Perry was, like, when I heard that they were suspended, I was like, okay, Jack Perry's going to be suspended for a long while, probably not be back for a while. Punk, if the investigation went a certain way, he was definitely screwed. He was going to be fired, because, and this is the thing I wanted to bring up. It was reported that Punk signed a bunch of documents and legal agreements, apparently. Now, I'm not an expert and I have no knowledge of what these agreements were, but I'm pretty certain, by guessing, that the agreements was, do not fucking do this again, or you will have to be fired if we find evidence that you instigated it. And then this happened, and I was like, well, he's fucked. Yeah. So, sure enough, I didn't want to say anything because the situation was so volatile at the time on the internet. And then before that, Bray Wyatt died, and I just had no interest whatsoever to keep going on that. So, yeah, I said after All In, if nothing happens with what was going on with behind the scenes we were hearing, then I will cover that. But then drama happened and I lost interest. So, yes, that was a sad day for me. And that was a sad week. So, yeah. Kenny Omega and MJF. That was a match I was hoping to see, and the fact that we were getting this for free, I was like, holy crap. And with the amount of matches they had at the time before the show started, where it looked like it was going to be a 4-match show, I was like, oh god, MJF and Kenny Omega are going to try and beat Bryan Danielson in MJF's match. Because goddamn, they could have went for an hour and I would have loved it. But this was a 30-minute fight. This was a 30-minute match. Jim Ross is commentating. Nigel McGuinness is commentating. My one regret is that we did not get Maranello, damn it. And yes, I am still wanting Maranello back in wrestling. And for no other reason than to hear his glorious voice commentate and going on Mamma Mia! And his passionate freakouts every time it happens when the ring goes crazy. But this match was so fucking good. This was my first watch full show in months. So, yeah, this was kind of a big deal. Like, they had to deliver on this. And considering that Kenny Omega was once again dressed up as a Street Fighter character because Halloween's show coming up. And we had Spawn and Ada Wong from Resident Evil and like I said, Spawn from the Image Comics universe, being played by Abaddon and Hikaru Shida respectively, of their respective horror characters of the franchises. Kenny Omega coming out as a Street Fighter character was hilarious, so that was awesome. I kind of wish MJF came out with the devil theme. Mainly just for the whole angel versus devil, and then we can get the religious nut jobs going ahead and saying this is satanic. Oh, it's some bullshit. Because basically we would have the devil defeating an angel, and therefore AEW is satanic or something. I don't know. But this match was so crisp and great. Even when Don Callis came out and basically was trying to go all, I will stop you, and then subsequently did not get involved for the entire time, because he is more or less just their mouthpiece and no longer a walking powerful force of wanting to stab people with screwdrivers. And yeah, even with Don Callis' involvement, he was then subsequently kicked out before he could do anything. And MJF and Omega kept going at it, and I for one moment thought, oh god, they're gonna swerve us, Kenny's gonna win. But he couldn't get the One Ring Angel, and I was just like, man. Like, and MJF, here's the thing, ever since his buddy bromance with Adam Cole, baby, who's now injured and has shattered his ACL and his leg. Yeah. MJF has been a great face. Like, he still has all the mannerisms of his heel dynamic, and it somehow works as a face. And I'm just like, and here's the thing, there's word going around on the web, on the grapevine of the internet, that apparently there's a plan to turn Miz face, and I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. Like, it's not that Miz can't do it, it's more like WWE doesn't want him to do it well. Like, he thrives more being a heel, but WWE seems like, well, we don't know how to make Miz a face. I'm like, we could ask him, but that's free will, and we hate that. I'm sure Miz could make it work, like, he kind of made it work when he was feuding with Bray Wyatt, and that was more reasonable. And then he went to being a heel again because Bray Wyatt infected him with the darkness. Hey, don't blame me. They acknowledge that yes, every feud that that Bray Wyatt had during his Fiend days, everyone changed. I miss that, man. So yeah, MJF defeated Kenny Boy God Omega clean. 1, 2, 3. And I was just, oh, fuck, yes, that was awesome. A 30-minute slobber knocker, as Jim Ross once hailed a wrestling classic as. Oh, God. And here's the thing, my immense hatred for the UK having the uncut version, and I have to still wait for the uncut version. What I mean by that is that I have to wait until we inevitably, hopefully very soon, get AEW on HBO Max. I'm still calling it on HBO Max. Sue me, David Zaslav, if you dare, for me going with brand recognition, since you find that to be evil and something. But yes, this was a hell of a match. Loved every minute of it. And oh god, they had me going a few times. Seeing, and once again, Kenny Omega does the V-trigger so damn well. Oh man, the only thing left to do for Kenny Omega is to fight Buddy Matthews. Like 1v1. Come on, just do it, man. Come on, V-trigger versus V-trigger. Like they commentated for a while about how Buddy Matthews might have a deadlier V-trigger than Kenny Omega, and Kenny has somehow not taken offense to that, but like, no, I will not be denied of my right to be king of anything here. I am the god of pro wrestling. I am Kenny Omega, and I am the master of the fucking V-trigger. So yes, MJF now has broken Kenny Omega's record, and thus Kenny Omega is now in second place. I sense evil intent in the future. But not only that, MJF, like I mentioned earlier, MJF is now feeling the pain that the Elite went through during the summer when everyone was out for their blood, with the Don Callis family, with Blackpool Combat Club, with CMFTR, politically wise and FTR wise, it was in-ring wise. The Dark Order, that was 4 factions. And United Empire, that was 5. And you could possibly count Eddie Kingston, even though he was allied with them, mostly because it's Eddie fucking Kingston and he'll snap eventually. So 5 factions were gunning for them. And the Mad King probably. It was just hell for them. And now MJF has the same issue where he has Powerhouse Hobbs, Wardlow, Bullet Club Gold, let's see, Samoa Joe, and he's also the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champ, and Adam Cole's out, so he's short. Now he's blood in the water. So the ROH Tag Team Division, the Righteous. Yeah, I think we're safely can assume that MJF is probably fucked. Now, if you want my opinion, I get the feeling this is all going to culminate in a big match at World's End. Like, maybe a version of Armageddon Hell in a Cell, because God knows I'm surprised that they never had an opportunity to try and bring a 6-man Hell in a Cell match back. But come on, let's be real. If AEW brings back a Hell in a Cell style 6-way match, or do their own take of the Elimination Chamber, or convert Blood and Guts into a 6-man Hell in a Cell match, I will laugh. I will cry. But yeah, having all these talents gunning for MJF, it just reminds you that this is the world champion, and he has challengers hungry for that belt, hungry for the strap. It has been so long since I've seen actual more than one person go after the world champion at the same time. And that's even counting WWE. Like, there are people who want the belt, but they're not actively going at it. at the same collective time because, you know, we can't have chaos moments anymore or something like that. But, oh god, it's so nice to see this kind of hungry desire spread in the locker room for this. And you know, this means that there's going to be people caught in the crossfire, right? Therefore, they have to make this a big event. Like, I feel like I'm watching an event beginning to unfold like in a comic book. So, yes, this is my entire thoughts. I'm not sure if I'll be fully back just yet, but I wanted to dip my toes in the water first to finally get a grasp on things again, and talking about this feels so right. And give an update about what happened to me and everything that's happened in the last 54 days. But yeah, we'll see how things go, but don't call it a comeback just yet. So anyways, this is your host, Eric Brown of Neo Reality Entertainment, owner of the NRE The WrestleVerse brand. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, check out my content in the description below. Stay tuned for more. I'll see you all again next time. Peace out here, and keep on wrestling. Peace.